Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Well, Happy New Year. This is not Steve. This is Larry Sonnenburg sitting in for Steve, and I'm blessed to be with Becky Brown. She's in Indiana.
Happy New Year.
And Alice Benton, Dr. Alice Benton, sitting right next to me. Hi, Alice.
Hello, and folks, what a pleasure to get to start off the new year with you. We're so glad you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think of the new year, it's hard not to, people roll their eyes, but it's resolution time. But what's the difference between making a resolution and setting goals?
Well, resolutions, if they aren't something that you can actually do, they will just be a wish, and then may even be a regret after a while. It can bring shame on to bring a resolution into your life and then not be able to fulfill it. But it doesn't mean that you can't set goals.
Yeah, Lisa wrote on the sheet today for this morning, make sure that your goals are SMART, S-M-A-R-T, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good advice. Mm-hmm. Resolutions so easily fall by the wayside, I think, because we know they are a resolution, and it's like calling your kid a teenager. When you do that, you can expect they're going to be rebellious and disrespectful, because that's what teenagers do. And people accept that too much. But same thing with resolutions. We just kind of accept, we're not going to hold it all year. We'll see what we can do. So think about making a goal.
And when you make a goal, we're so much more likely to make progress toward it and achieve it if it's made in the context of safe community. I'll tell you how many over and over in my life when I've shared my goal with someone else and I know I'm going to check in with them and they'll be loving, they'll be supportive, but they'll call me up. I get so much more done when I know I'm going to check in with somebody else about it.
Yep, that accountability.
One of the big things I think about this time of year is there's this pressure of self-improvement. That you set all these resolutions so that you're going to be the better version of you in 21, right? And I said this the other day, and it's just a great reminder. God loves you just the way that you are. Yeah, you might need to do some work, and there might be some things that he would like you to begin to do in your life, but it doesn't take away from your value. And I think in this culture where there are expectations about how you should be doing life according to the world's standards, we forget that very, very important truth, that core truth that God loves you and wants you to know that. And I think at this time of year, it's really an important message to get across.
And it's a good, it's a good time to reflect that 2020, the world turned upside down. All of our lives were affected in some way we didn't expect. Some was incredibly painful. Some was encouraging and endearing and protective. But don't think you know what's going to happen in 21. Set your goals, have an expectancy, but be careful with expectations. Expectations set you up for disappointment, and that can turn into anger and issues with God and everything else.
And the thing is, it's not that you can't have expectations, it's just be aware of what your expectations are.
Yeah.
Because the difference between expectations and reality is misery. Steve says that all the time. And so just know what your expectations are for this year.
And I want to make sure everybody knows that we have a New Life journal. And it's a great habit to get into, to be journaling. And maybe
we are so excited about that.
Maybe you started in 2021. It's a really good journal.
Yeah, there's some prompts in there too.
Yes,
Larry,
there are scripture.
So it's not like
prompts.
A blank piece of paper.
And if you make a gift this month to New Life, any amount, we will send you that journal. So you might give $2, or you might give us $200, or anything in between or beyond. But we'd like to help you get going in the journaling journey. We'll be back to take some calls just right after this. Thanks for listening.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said you either get help or I have to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
Every Man's Battle, I fought it the whole week with my wife. Within 2 hours, you could have opened a book. It showed me where my life has been ever since I was a little boy.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, January 9th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-LIFE.
He said, this may have saved my life.
Every Man's Battle was a life-changing experience for me and a marriage-saving experience for me.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, welcome back. We're going to jump right into a phone call, and we're going to talk with Kay in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Listens on WFIL. Hello. How can we help you, Kay?
Hi, how are you?
Doing great.
Great, great. Happy New Year to you guys.
You too.
Thank you, Kay.
How can we help you start the new year?
And my daughter and her husband, they're she's left the house, staying with us. She's been here for a few months, and her husband has been diagnosed with bipolar and Ptsd, and he's in denial. He's not following the treatment. He gets very angry, and he's doing some really strange things. Some of it can even be labeled as demonic stuff. But anyway, the question is two parts. Is there a particular book you can recommend for her to help her deal with the situation? And secondly, what part should my husband and I play in this? How involved should we be as far as he's concerned? Should we be reaching out, or, what should we be doing?
Let's ask the first one. That's easy, Becky. It's loving and understanding the person.
A person with bipolar disorder. Yeah, I was privileged to do a book with Steve on this, Kay, and it walks right through all of the things that you just talked about. It is very hard when you're in relationship with someone who's struggling with bipolar disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder and is refusing treatment. And obviously, it's been bad enough that your daughter left him. Am I understanding that you said that?
Yeah, she left. She left the home because of just some things that he was doing and
right.
fear.
And is she still with you, or did she leave your house?
No, she's still with us. She's
right.
still with us.
So you're trying to figure out, Kay, what to do going forward. Like, how do you have some sort of understanding about what the future looks like for them?
Exactly. They communicate, but it's really, sometimes it gets pretty volatile when they do communicate, and because of his denial state, it's like he's blaming everything on her. Mm-hmm. So we're just trying to, do the right thing, of course, as number one, children of God, and secondly, because we love him, of course,
mm-hmm.
and we're family, and we just want to be supportive and know, how far we should go with our support.
Would you just briefly describe how was your relationship, yours and your husband's, with your son-in-law, but before the behavior got so bad?
Oh, very good. Very good. We love him. We've always had a great relationship. They've been married for 5 years. We're a Christian young man, and very good relationship.
And so, Kay, have you guys had like a family meeting where everybody, has an opportunity to talk about this, or is he still too volatile that he won't even talk about anything?
Well, we've had a meeting. I mean, we met with them. Yeah, we met with them, and also my husband and I have spoken with him on the phone. I've spoken with him on the phone a few times. And it's more, I don't know, it's more surface because he's in denial. It's almost as if you're talking to him, he's more saying what kind of hard to say, what kind of, he's like in agreement. For instance, let me put it this way. My husband was reading a book with him by Dr. Amen. We were trying to see if maybe indirectly he could read the book with him and discuss things that are going on with the brain in hopes that he would see that he needs help. And when they would go through the book, it was more of him just by giving, he's very intelligent, so giving his intellectual assessment of what was being said in the book, but not relating it so much to himself.
Right. Why does he think that your daughter left?
Good question.
Well, she told him why she left, and he feels because he's in denial, and it's like he's not owning up to anything as far as the diagnosis is concerned of any of his actions. He's saying that she left because she's been in the state where they live for so many years, and she's a producer, so there's not a lot of work in that area for her. So sometimes she would make comments like, there's nothing for me to do here, and I just want to I want to be in an area where there's something I can do. So because she's made comments like that, not talking about leaving the marriage, just talking about the area they live in, he now is saying that she left because she never wanted to be there.
The challenge is that there's a lot of just vague kind of reasons why this is all happening this way, and there needs to be some clarity.
Maybe that could be part of the family meeting.
Kate, we think
I'm sorry.
We think you and your husband are doing an incredible job in maintaining contact, being loving to him, and gently trying to move him in the right direction. So there are only two additional things that I would add, because I think you're doing an amazing job. One is to look for opportunities to give him a little bit of truth. We love you. We care about you so much. You need treatment. I think you know that too. You need some help, and we want to help get you to that treatment. Giving him bite-sized pieces of truth. He probably will reject it. It probably will anger him. He needs it anyhow. And also asking him, what would you like us to do for you? How can we love you and support you in this time that you're separated from our daughter? But then be very cautious on deciding whether or not it would be feasible and good to follow through on what he would ask of you.
Okay.
There's a lot of good insight in, not that I'm tooting my own horn, but after doing the work on the book, there are a lot of step-by-step things that you guys will have to look at as you go through this. Your daughter may need counseling as well, just to get through, just trying to understand what the future of the marriage looks like. And it's tricky, but there is hope. There's hope.
Okay, we're going to send you that book, and we really hope that'll help. It's a good call. Thank you for calling us today, and Happy New Year. Okay, let's go talk to Alberta. Alberta's on line 6, listens in Boston Station, WEZE. Hello, Alberta. How can we help you today?
Yes. Hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, we're doing really well.
Oh, good, good. I have a son who is estranged from the family. He has 5 adult children, and he's 47 and has always been, well, I'd say for the last 15 years, been with a woman who is, they both have violent tendencies towards each other, and they've both been arrested, and they both, it's a dysfunctional, chronically horrific relationship that both my husband and I and all of the siblings have said, you need to be away from her. Thank you. And all of his friends have said the exact same thing too. But for whatever reason, he will not listen. He will not hear it. And
how old is he?
47.
Now he's
Thank you.
47. And so I mean, he's a grown man, but it still hurts my heart that right now nobody's connecting with him except my husband.
So what's your question for us? What would
my question is, I think the only thing I can do is just pray. The only thing I can do for him is just pray that he gets clarity, that he wants to connect with the family. I'm like 70, 72, and I'm thinking, right now we have a will and everything, and he's getting, 1/5 of everything, and he'll be pretty well off. But when and if both of my husband and I pass on, but there's a part of me that's thinking, do I want to pass on money to someone who's not living not doing anything right? Do I really want to do that?
Well,
I don't know what.
I think, Alice, you can answer this in a second, but my heart goes out to this situation because these are two people who are in a lot of pain. Now, it looks like it's, just a lot of chaos, which it is, but people who hurt each other like this, and they've been together for this long, there is some core wounds that have occurred in both of them. And then on top of that, years of this abuse and violence towards each other, and then the shame. It's a big hot mess, just like you said, Alberta. And I wonder, so your husband's the only one connecting with him. I would encourage you, you're right, you can't do anything. They've been arrested and all that kind of thing. They know what their sins or their errors are. They know that. I wonder if there would be a point of you connecting with him on a weekly basis just to say, hey, how are you? As opposed to, you need to stop doing this or this needs to be corrected. Because I wonder if anybody is dealing with that level of connection with him.
Well, let me say that the reason why I am disconnected from him is his last run-in in which he was in prison. I specifically said to my husband, he should not come here. I know you feel bad, but he needs to go to a halfway house. He needs to be with other men and learn how to re-enter into society. And my husband thought I was just being, no, you don't have enough compassion for him or whatever. And so he came, and of course my husband did not push in a way that I felt he should have pushed, because he has a lot of interactions with me that are negative. So I don't want to be the person that is constantly saying, you need to get a job.
Right. Well,
Maybe
and that's,
you need to be in meetings.
and Alberta, that's what I'm saying, is that instead of you being the person telling him that he needs to get a job and that he needs to get his life straightened out, to be the person to just say, it can literally be a 5-minute phone call where you're just checking in. Hey, how are you? I've been praying for you, because you said you're praying for him. So, and that could be the end of the phone call. Doesn't have to be anything other than that, because you've learned you don't have the power to control him. But that's just what I'm suggesting. Alice, what do you think?
Well, Alberta, I would guess that because your husband has tended to probably enable and go too soft on your son, it has polarized you to being the strict one, the one that brings truth to him, because your husband probably doesn't bring enough to him. And maybe you both have gone too far in your position of one enabling and one being strict and holding the line. Prayer is always powerful, and I completely support you praying for your son. And I don't think it's the only thing you can do. I think you and your husband could also go to Al-Anon, and you could learn about how to both balance out boundaries and continue to love your son. And you and your husband both need some of that. You can also look, this is from one imperfect mother to another, you can look at what you and your husband have done, the areas that you've made mistakes that have affected your children, and maybe particularly affected that son. And you could go to him with a letter, with a phone call, with a confession of how you as an imperfect mom and your husband as an imperfect father have negatively impacted his life in some ways. Your son needs some of that grace from you folks as well. Try it out. See what happens from it.
Alberta, thank you for the call. Is there an understanding and loving book, or do you think Take Your Life Back, or what comes to mind?
What about how we love our kids?
Well, I was thinking of sending a Life Recovery Bible and giving it to the son.
Okay, that's a great
Okay,
idea.
That's what I
we'll
was
do
thinking.
that. Thank you for the call, Alberta. After the break, I want to share with you about our new Going Deeper podcast. Something brand new, and want to tell you about it, and then we'll take some more calls. Be back right after this.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop will be held online Saturday, February 13th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship, and then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or go to newlife.com.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of 7 books, including Growth Has No Boundaries by Drs. John Townsend and Henry Cloud, Take Your Life Back by Steve Arterburn and Dr. Dave Stoop, and the Emotional Freedom Workbook. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we're back, and I wanted Becky to tell you about this new podcast we're doing.
It is launch day, January 1st, 2021. We are so excited about the new podcast called Going Deeper. Features Steve Arterburn. You've been hearing us talk about Going Deeper this past year, and we had this great idea. Hey, let's make it available in a podcast form so that you can take it on the go. These are 15 or so minutes of teaching from Steve on all different kinds of subjects that literally you're just going a little bit deeper. And I think each of us in this new year, we were talking about resolutions earlier today. Maybe the resolution is we're just going to go a little bit deeper this year. And so you can download it at wherever you get your podcasts. And we would encourage you to subscribe and rate it and leave a review and share it with a friend or two. It's the easiest 15 minutes that you can share in a day.
Yeah, thank you, Becky. Yeah, go to newlife.com and hit the listen tab, too. That's another way to go get it. Okay, let's go and talk to Belle. Belle's on line 3, listens on the app. A lot of app listeners today.
Yay.
Santa Fe, New Mexico. Belle, how can we help you?
My husband had an affair, and he, when we struggled, I guess, for a while, and then things got better. Then this year,
give us a time. Give us a time frame. How long ago did he have the affair?
It was. He said about that he hadn't seen her for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And but he had the affair for about 5 years. And anyway, my kids found out, and so they confronted him, and that's when he admitted it to me. And my biggest question was which workshop would be the best one for us, because we're still together.
And Belle, what kind of work has he done? What kind of structured help has he received since the confrontation?
None. That was in September.
Well, then the first workshop would be for him to attend Every Man's Battle, which is going to be next weekend.
Coming Saturday, yeah.
And on January 9th. And so you can request that of him. And it's funny because you ask which one, but literally the first 2 months of the year are all the workshops that would be good for the both of you.
Yeah.
But you have to start with Every Man's Battle, I believe, because he has to understand, what he's done, what
drove him to it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And Belle, your heart must be crushed. You found out about a 5-year affair, and we have Restore another weekend that would be for you. And you, at that weekend, you get to have other women gather around you to be salve to your wounds and to help you figure out what you can do about it now for yourself, for your heart, for your marriage, and what you can and should expect of your husband.
That's February 27th, and that's a one-day workshop on Zoom. There's also a workshop for the two of you.
Right.
February the 13th. It's a Saturday. It's called Intimacy in Marriage. And you can do those just in the order they appear. This Saturday is Every Man's Battle, and then in February you have the 13th would be Intimacy in Marriage, and then the 27th you do Restore. And I want you to know that if money is a problem, you let us know, and we can help you with scholarships. We don't ever want money to be a reason somebody doesn't come to one of our workshops. But how old are you, and how old is your husband?
60 and 63.
Okay. You have a lot of good years left in you, and this can be redeemed. And there's hope. We have seen a lot of people gain a lot of hope and a lot of health and a lot of happiness by doing the work. And so please.
I would encourage you to read Worthy of Her Trust. We'll send that to you. But I think that would be a good book for the two of you to start with as you contemplate what workshops you're going to attend. We're praying for you, Belle. You're kind of like in shock right now. This is a big shift in your reality. And like Alice said, it's, at Restore, we have women who just can't believe that this occurred, and it's traumatizing. And so it's understandable that you're overwhelmed by this. And we just want to help you get past it, get through it, and have a better marriage than ever before.
And that's important, Becky, that Belle, you and your husband don't have to wait until the weekends to start the work, and you shouldn't. We can even connect you with a therapist in our network who knows about the things we teach at the weekend and can get the work started for you now.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you, Belle. We're feeling for you. We'll be praying for you. I hope your husband's receptive to all this, and that you'll do some of these things we were talking about. Okay, we're sending her Worthy of Her Trust.
Yes.
And just to remind you folks, we hit all three of those workshops in this call, but they are Every Man's Battle a week from tomorrow, Saturday the 9th. And then the 13th of February is Intimacy in Marriage. 27th of February is Restore. And those three workshops are life-changing. And I talked to somebody yesterday, and she said, well, I thought Restore was only for somebody who was married, and we're already divorced. I said, no, it's for you too. Your heart needs reparation, and the ladies there can help you with that, and Shelley Martinkus. So hang in there. We'll be back right after this.
Most of my life I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit its addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we are back. Before we go to our next caller, I just want to ask you folks, it's a new year, and would you consider new support? Would you consider joining Club New Life? This is an important group of people that support New Life every month. $30 or more is all it takes each month. You can do it on your credit card, and it is, we got great gifts. There's great membership in it. And if you're already a Club New Life member, I would just ask, would you consider increasing your giving, monthly giving, by even just $5? It'll make a difference when so many of you would do that. You might be able to raise it by more than that, but just something in an increase. We would be very grateful, and thank you for considering it. Thank you, everybody who's in Club New Life. You have made an incredible difference to this ministry for many years. So God bless you. Let's go to Chrissy. Chrissy has been waiting a long time in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Hi, Chrissy. How can we help you?
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, good. Phone and thank you for your program. I was just calling because my sister, who is now 60, has had issues since she was about 17 or 18. But then back in the 70s, schools didn't recognize things like that, you know. Nursing training, a lot of psychiatric issues can come out in your late teens, early 20s. And looking back, that is what happened with my sister. I mean, her personality changed, and she's never been diagnosed, and I would never armchair diagnose my own sister, but I would think she was either bipolar or she might even be schizophrenic. I'm not sure, but she's been estranged from the family for a good 30 years because she put us all through the ringer, you know. But I've always kept in touch with her. I protect myself by she doesn't know my address or my phone number. I keep a little flip phone with a phone number on it just for her to call, and then that way she thinks she has my phone number.
That's amazing.
But if I had given... I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's amazing, Chrissy. That's very compassionate of you.
Well, you have to be. And my sister's never, ever, 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 ever lost her faith in Christ. Parents had to disown her for good reason. She did a lot of things. She's always the first to say, when your mother or father forsake you, the Lord will take care of you. I mean, she's never lost her faith.
So, Chrissy, what's your question for us?
Well, my question is, she's 60 now. I'm 59. My parents are 86. I'm the only one in the family that tries to check on her. Someday, my parents will be gone, and my siblings will have nothing to do with my sister. So I'm just wondering what your advice is. I mean, I check on her from an arm's length, and I protect myself. And I know I can't cure her.
Does your family know you're in contact with her?
Oh, yes. I do it actually for my parents' sake. They love her very much. But when she's having an episode, she'll call their phone number 50 times in a day. You know?
So her volatile behavior continues, although not all the time, but it can still be at a pretty significant level to even today.
Yes, but then there are times when she's just herself, a loving, generous person. She always has all Christmas gifts for everybody in the family. It's sad, really. So
Does she work, Chrissy? Like, what's her level of care?
She's very intelligent. The job, because only a couple weeks into the job they start to see issues and they get rid of her.
So does she have shelter and all of that kind of thing? Are all of her basic needs taken care of?
Yeah, well, she goes from one person to another, and right now she's in a very abusive relationship, and that's what happens. I mean, she's so not quite right herself. So she doesn't attract a normal, partner.
And so Chrissy, what do you want from your family about her?
What does she want from my family?
What do you want from your family concerning your sister?
Good question.
You're going in and out every so often, so if you can move somewhere so we can get better.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm driving in the Adirondacks right now. That's why I'm in
Sounds
the
wonderful.
all the way. Yeah, I'm not at ocean level anymore. I'm getting not used to the altitude, but I'm up near Lake George right now.
Okay, well, tell us quickly before you go out again.
What?
Yeah, I just want them to have compassion and maybe send her a note that they love her and that they pray for her.
And have you, Chrissy, have you asked that of them?
I try, and it's like opening a can of worms. If I say too much, then they take it out on me, and I don't want to be the new scapegoat of the family.
So here's what I'm thinking, though. You are such a compassionate person, Chrissy, and I think it's an amazing connection that you've maintained with your sister, even to go to the extreme of getting a separate phone so that she has a constant contact. I would let go of the idea that the family will participate, but I would continue doing whatever you feel comfortable in doing in extending love and care. You asked the question about what to do, concerning like the aging process and all of this with your sister. She's pretty sturdy. The fact that she's lived this long and still been able to keep going and find shelter. But I think that it's going to be just a wait and see, but that staying in contact with her on the level that you're doing is the most powerful thing that you can do for her. You can encourage the family, but everyone's got their own relationship with her. And so to protect the connection that you have with your family, I would probably stay away from trying to tell them what they need to do, as much as, because some of it is going to they're going to feel guilty because they're not doing something, but they have to make peace in their own way with your sister. So I don't know if that's helpful, but.
Well, she dropped, so maybe lost her connection in the Adirondacks. So how about if we've got her information, what if we send her the Understanding and Loving book about bipolar?
Yeah, I think that would be good too.
Okay.
It's so hard. Mental illness and mental health issues are a real big part of our culture that so many people, it's just very hard to get good help, and it's hard to get people to get good help. And But it's really admirable that she has that connection with her sister.
And I think we need to accept others' boundaries, especially when that volatile behavior, it does still continue. And so overall, she's still an unsafe person to be connected to. So we both have to accept the family's boundaries, but we can encourage. I just had a great conversation with my sister, or I've got this card going for her.
There
Can
you
I bring
go.
it to the family meeting? If anybody wants to add a note, it's right here. But accept their
Great
no.
idea.
Right.
Folks, I want to encourage you, if you make a gift this month, we will send you a New Life journal. It's brand new. We really recommend journaling. If you are a journalist, you know how helpful that is. Just write your thoughts and feelings down. You can understand them more clearly. And if you struggle with stress, depression, or anxiety, keeping a journal is a great idea. Help you understand your emotions, improve your spiritual and mental health. This journal is not just a bunch of blank paper. It has scripture references in it. There's reminders of your identity in Christ. It's divided into 9 I am statements, which highlight your worth. Each page includes statements or questions to help you realize how valuable you are. It's a great gift. And if you've never journaled, there's no better tool to help you start. So just send a gift, any amount. We hope it's a real big one. You might want to just send a couple of bucks, but whatever you can send, it'll be appreciated, and we might get you back on the tool of journaling. Well, I tell you what, let's see if we can get a question out of somebody very quickly, and if not, we'll carry it over. Let's talk to Debbie, Manassas, Virginia, and listens on Wava. Hello, Debbie. How can we help you?
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Good. I love being called sweetie.
She was talking to me.
No.
I was talking to all y'all, honey. All of y'all.
Oh, now I'm honey, too. Let's keep this going. All right. Debbie, how can we help you?
Hi, honey. I'm 69 years old, and in my early 20s, my dad died, and that was the first time I ever had to handle death. My mom called me. I rushed over there. I saw him, and it was my dad. So it was very emotional for me. But anyway, that night, which was late, a long, long day, about 11:30, my husband, he handed me to have sex. He begged me, he pleaded, he quoted the Bible by saying, the Bible says you must submit to me. Everything. And I finally broke down, and he did it. You know, he had sex. I don't know whether I blocked that out of my mind all these years, but about 15 years ago,
Debbie,
I started having...
Debbie,
yes.
let us pick it up right after the break here, but we'll come right back to you, so hold the line.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is being held online Saturday, February 27th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we're back and we're talking to Debbie. And Debbie, you were just about to tell us that something about dreams or nightmares.
Yeah, about 15 years ago, I started having violent dreams. I mean, violent. I would wake up, I'd have a dream that he let my son spend the night at some stranger's house, and come to find out that that stranger molested him. And I started screaming and cussing and hitting him like a man, my fist. And I woke up, and I'm standing there. My poor dog's underneath the bed. And I am screaming, and my arms hurt from punching so much. And that's kind of when I thought, well, I kind of went numb after that happened. I never felt the same way toward him. I mean, I never made love to him.
So what's your question for us?
I called Michael and asked him why he did it. I said, why didn't you love me? And he says, I did. I said, then why did you do that? He just said he was sorry. And I don't know how to work through this for myself.
Are you getting professional help, Debbie?
No.
Why not?
It's a good start.
I don't know.
You've been through major loss, and I'm sure this awful violation by your husband was probably not the only way that he hurt you or disregarded your feelings, pushed you to do something you weren't prepared, weren't ready, didn't want to do. You need the help of a therapist, and I think help focused on trauma therapy, eye movement desensitization, and reprocessing will really help you get some of the answers and get some emotional stability with the trauma and the loss you've been through.
And we have some very good counselors in your area.
Yeah.
So
stay on the line. Stay on the line, and we'll get you connected. That will be the next step for you to take.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Appreciate your call. Let's go talk to Betty. Betty's on line 2. Listens on WNIV, Jacksonville, Florida. Hello, Betty. How can we help you?
Hi. I have a question. I actually just want to see if we are doing enough to help with a family member. It's a 10-year-old boy was molested by his sister, who is a year younger. And the mother found out. She said the Lord showed her in some type of dream or vision that something inappropriate was going on with the children. And she asked the children. She didn't ask them because the way it was presented to her, she knew it was happening. So she presented it to them in a way like she knew for sure. And they seemed guilty. They, responded in a way that she knew it was true. So she stayed in that knowledge and assuming that the 10-year-old boy was the perpetrator. But maybe a day or two later, after the grandmother got involved, she asked the children, and it was actually the 9-year-old girl who initiated it and pretty much blackmailed him into continuing by saying, when he said he wanted to tell after the first time, she said, if you tell, then I'll tell Mommy it's you, and who do you think she's going to believe? So she did this maybe a few times within a week before it was found out. She was encouraged to, take them to counseling, and they are in counseling, and the counselors, of course, said they had to report it, and it was reported. Yeah. But, DFACS or whomever.
Betty, we have Betty, we have a very short time. Tell us a question.
Okay. They're both in counseling. What are we doing enough for them? It seems as if the counselor for the girl seems maybe effective because at least maybe she's admitting what she's done where she didn't before. A boy's counselor is pretty much to just listen to whatever the boy wants to talk about, even if it's action figures. He's not exploring anything. He's not exploring the trauma or anything like that. He's just allowing him. The young boy considers the counselor his friend.
And Betty, has the original perpetrator been discovered of who molested the girl or what she was exposed to?
The mom is thinking that it is maybe the little girl has been caught on more than one occasion looking at inappropriate things on the tablet or whatever electronic device they use.
Yeah.
So they don't believe she has been, but that she things that she saw on the internet or on the whatever that she tried to explore.
And what's your relation to the kids?
Close, very close.
Close. Okay. So I think the question about the effectiveness of the boy's counselor depends on a couple of things. The most important is if the boy is trusting his counselor and has a relationship with him, because that is a necessary base. Now, personally, I really want to know if a counselor is going to be passive or active. Because too many of us counselors are too passive, I think, and we can just stay in a listening role without being directive enough and helping our client move towards greater health. And so that's something to consider. And the mother can ask the therapist of his long-term plans, because he may be building the trust in the relationship to then take a more active, directive role with the 10-year-old. Or maybe he's just not a directive therapist. But the key is, does the boy trust him? Is a good relationship developing? And then ask the therapist about his future plans.
Right. And I think if they have an expertise in helping victimization in children, that would be an important part of, ask the counselors if that's what their specialty is. Another thing that I think is important, and, we can't emphasize this enough, the internet's a powerful thing. And especially with online schooling, kids have access to computers more than ever before. I would encourage you to encourage the mom to get something like Covenant Eyes or something that's on your on their computer or their internet system, so that it can block those images as much as possible, or even send reports. Not to condemn the girl. This is a very young age, and we're wanting restoration. We want hope and a future so that this doesn't continue on the rest of their life. But that's, it's just heartbreaking when this goes on. And you're a good friend, Betty, for you to call in and ask for, more insight.
What can we send Betty?
How We Love Our Kids would be good, because
Okay.
I think other than, this is a big issue, but this doesn't happen in a vacuum. We've got to look at that whole system.
Okay, thank you for listening today, folks. I want to close with a word of scripture. And it's just left me here. Let me find it real quick.
Well, and it's the first day of the new year, so what a great way to end up with the word of scripture to send us off into 2021.
But because of his great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, made us alive with Christ, even when we were dead in transgressions. It's by grace you've been saved. And so, folks, lean into that. God is rich in mercy, no matter what you've done, no matter what's happened to you. God's mercy abounds, and mercy wins over justice. That's in the book of James. So have a great year. I hope today started off well. We love you. We love what we do here. We love that you share with us when things are going well after you've heard the advice and the counsel. So let us know what's going on in your life. Happy New Year.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.